Just for the purpose of the record, we had the Great Zimbabwe before you had Great Britain. We are not from the Great Zimbabwe Kingdom. We are from the Great Zimbabwe Empire. And by the way, while we are there, let me be quick to remind you that the new name for Britain is now going to be called Pambe Pfumi. I discovered it. And we have decided to call them Pambe Pfumi, which means the thieves of other people's wealth. And London in particular will no longer be called London. It will be called Rundonda, the place of the weaklings. And the river Thames is no longer River Thames. It's going to be called Zibaremga, a pool of dogs. Not even dogs can drink from that river, dirty river. I bring you greetings from your ancestors. I don't come alone. I come with all of them from the great kingdom of Zimbabwe, which included Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, even South Africa, Lesotho, and Swaziland. The great kingdom of Zimbabwe has more than 286 sites, with the great Zimbabwe as the greatest. Just for the purpose of the record, we had the great Zimbabwe before you had Great Britain. Just so that you know. We were there as early as the 5th, 6th century. The British kingdom can only be spoken about in the 17th century, which is yesterday. We were great before even the British knew how to bath. Before they even knew how to build a street, we were building empires. We are not from the great Zimbabwe Kingdom. We are from the great Zimbabwe Empire. And the Zimbabwe Empire worked together with the Congo, the Chitikulu empires within the Congo Basin. Monomotapa is from the 14th, 18th century. He was the last one. But before Monomotapa, we had Murenga, we had Tovera from the great spaces of Guru, Swa, and Embo. So Monomotapa is the colonial history which they... And by the way, while we are there, let me be quick to remind you that the new name for Britain is now going to be called Pambe Pfumi. I discovered it. I discovered a place where people's ears shine with the sun. I have found people who have no knees. I found tomb raiders. And we have decided to call them Pambe Pfumi, which means the thieves of other people's wealth. So from today onwards, you are not living in Britain. You are living in Pambe Pfumi. And London in particular will no longer be called London. It will be called Rundonda, the place of the weaklings. Rundonda. Ndonda is someone who is always weak. I've never seen a country and a town which has a sick mental hospital on every corner of the street. So you are not in London here, you are in Rundonda. And the river Thames is no longer River Thames, it's going to be called Zibaremga, a pool of dogs. Not even dogs can drink from that river, dirty river. But anyway, the list can go on, as we have also discovered this land. But I come here not in an arrogant way. This used to belong to the great Moors. The queens of the palace themselves are not white people, they are black. Just in case you did not know, I came to visit my grandchildren here. Though they think they are white, their royalty is all black. How can you put a lion as a symbol on your kingdom when you don't even know what a lion looks like? That's for another day. I bring you good news from the great empires of the South, with the empires of Central Africa in Embo, Kirinyagas, the Embo kingdoms of Congo. I bring you greetings from Abyssinia, that is a great Ethiopian space. I bring you greetings from Carthage, which is the Egyptians and the Libyans, though they whitened up with the white Arabs, but the original Egypt was actually the dark-skinned. Just in case you did not know. Why do I say that with such arrogance? Because the Masons who built the great Zimbabwe, the pyramids of Sudan, the pyramids of Nigeria, did you know we have more pyramids in Sudan than we have in Egypt? But anyway, if you don't know, you don't know. And then you talk about the Stone Age here, which is so primitive. When you get to the Great Zimbabwe and in Zaloyelanga and Mpumalanga, then you find the correct science of the clock, which they try to duplicate in the Stone Age here. So, man, we are not talking about their history. This is our history. I went there to Stone Age. It will no longer be called Stone Age. It will be called Masvingo, the place of ruins, the place of stones. When you get there, you find our huts all thatched up grass, exactly the way we do it in the South. And I looked at this history and I said, no, 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 no. You did not start making these thatched houses. This is stolen history. You were in the caves of the Caucasus, right in the caves there. So when you start talking construction, architecture, masonry, mining, cloth, design, medicine, you can't do that without us, the Kemetic people. We are not claiming this history. This is our history. And then you wonder why when they do movies, they give us a white Cleopatra. And say, okay. The kings of Egypt, okay. Man, we cannot be taught by our children who we are. There's no European who can tell me who I am. I will tell you who you are. You can't tell me who I am. For every time the African has tried to look like the European, he has deprived the European the opportunity to experience him. Because we try to manage you, and we pretend to speak your language. We will use this English language for the cosmetics that it has, but not for the depth that it contains. For there is stuff in our tribe and nations, we cannot explain it in English. But for the sake of colonization, English has just become a tool of communication, not a measure of intelligence. We bring you greetings from Timbuktu. We bring you greetings from Benin. We bring you greetings from the kingdoms of Nigeria. When you see me here, I represent all of them, past and present, and those yet to come. The other day, I was giggling around when I heard, well, you must go to China and you see the Great Wall of China. Then I asked a simple question. If it is the Great Wall of China, where is it facing? And then you discover the Great Wall of China is not facing China, is facing Europe. So now we know that the Moors were protecting their land from the invasions of the Mongolians. So it cannot be called the Great Wall of China. It is actually the Great Moorish War against the Mongolians, who are the Chinese. But when you don't write your history, it always takes the complexion of the writer. Until the lion explains his history, the hunter will remain as the conqueror. But that's for a beautiful moment of taking me and allowing me to come and share this space with you here in Rundonda. I am quite excited to share some moments. I will take you away. I love the young man who was doing the slogans here, Giji, Gijima, Gijima. Beautiful. Reminds me of Malema back home. But when people are fighting, intellectual conversations become a luxury because survival becomes critical. You pardon me, my tongue is that of the ancestors. It might get twisted, but in the midst of the proverbs, I hope you'll be able to catch the innuendos of the conversation. In the abundance of food and peace and security, people begin to think, because poverty and a hungry stomach does not know politics. Hungry people cannot think straight. So when you starve people, you deprive them of mental capacity. So in the moments of war, we slogan. But when peace resides, we introspect and we become spiritual. So I would have loved to teach you a chant of peace. I would have loved to teach you a chant of war. But I would rather play for you a song, a lullaby, to send you to sleep. For a very good reason. The battle is ahead of us. I need us to sleep one last time. Not to sleep as of negligence, but to sleep as of to recover strength. We will need all the strength tomorrow. We cannot spend the night dancing and chanting again, when tomorrow we need all our brains and our strength, our vigilance, our eyes, our ears, the alertness of our bodies must be calibrated in the rest of our bodies. So let's sleep for the night. For tomorrow morning, there's work and there's war. And all good soldiers like myself, we know there is nothing that beats a good night's sleep before the battle tomorrow. And just in case you did not know, it could be the last sleep you have this side. You may as well sleep as much as you can and have a conversation with your ancestors. For tomorrow, when the spears and swords clatter in the air, your soul might come and join us over here. So sleep just one more night. For it's only a night that separates you from life and freedom. And if freedom does not find you, your ancestors will always welcome you. So sleep is not such a bad thing. It's a moment of recalibration and connection. The world is making business out of those who cannot sleep. It's an expensive business. And to send you to sleep, it's a viable economy.